Truth by the Chronologists is a rack extension for processing and combining CV signals in Reason. What Truth does is quite unique. We can use Truth to pass CV signals through logic gates. Now, unless you're an engineer or a software developer, chances are the term logic gate means nothing to you. Here's the idea. A logic gate is a basic building block of digital electronics. It's a tiny device with one output and at least one input. What's special is that the inputs and the outputs can be only one of two values, on or off. These are called truth values. Each gate has a different rule for computing the output from its inputs. Let's look at one practical application of logic gates, specifically pattern generation. That is, we're going to use logic gates to combine several patterns to make new ones. So what I have here is two matrix devices, and we're using the gate levels to produce patterns. The output of each matrix is split using a spider so that it triggers a drum sample and also goes to an input of the first logic gate. The first matrix plays a kick drum, and the second matrix plays a ride cymbal. The output of truth is wired to trigger a piano sample so we can hear what the gate is doing. Now, since logic gates work with only two values, the first thing that truth does is convert the incoming CV signals into either on or off. The default rule is to turn all positive CV signals into on and all negative and zero signals into off. The second input LED tells you which truth value the input has been converted to. Now, truth is ready to apply the rule of the selected logic gate to the inputs. Let's use the AND gate first. This gate outputs on only when both of its inputs are on. If either input is off, the output is also off. Since this is the only place where both the kick and the ride are on at the same time, we should expect to hear the piano at this step. In other words, we found the intersection of the two patterns. The OR gate produces a different pattern. This logic gate outputs on when at least one of its inputs is on. So effectively, we merge the two patterns. Some gates have only one input. For example, the NOT A gate simply outputs the opposite of input A. That is, we should get an inverted pattern. When the kick shuts off, the piano is triggered, and vice versa. The resulting pattern can be again combined with another signal to produce more patterns. You can imagine how complex the result can get if we use multiple gates and various pattern sources, LFOs, envelopes, sequencers, MIDI controllers, and so on. The nice thing is that the resulting patterns in some way preserve the groove of the original patterns. We're just combining their rhythms in a logical way. One last note. Out of all the gates, there's actually only 4 that you need to remember: NOT, AND, OR, and XOR. The rest are simply their opposites. You'll find the details in the manual.